Got interested in whisky casking about 2021, and I had been left some money, so I thought I would do something with the investment of it. I found it very interesting because of the different regions in Scotland and the different whiskies that they have available. And initially every time I put in an ad or asked questions about whisky, immediately they wanted to know your name and your contact details. And there was one or two companies that I found very on top of you all the time, and it wasn't, they weren't particularly helpful, they were just in for the hard sell. And then I spoke to, it was Spiritfilled, and it was Ross initially, and then I met Ross and Russell, and I find them very helpful in keeping you up to date. You get a monthly bulletin about what's going on, what the market is doing, things that you want to maybe invest in a different type of whisky, or even going to the stage of if you haven't wanted to bottle some. I haven't bottled any so far, they're all just in casks. So everything I have now is all with Spiritfilled. The Highland Park cask, Jared phoned me and he said he had a client who I think could be interested in your Highland Park. Would you be interested in selling it? And I said yes, you know, if it's the price is right. And everything was done, the form came through, it was signed, the Highland Park was transferred over, and Spiritfilled just took care of everything. It made a return of 26% in just over a year. That's the only cask I've sold so far. I invested it into another 2 casks. So I bought another 2 casks, and I think now I've got 12 casks. I've got some from each of the sort of 5 or 6 different areas of Scotland where the different whiskies are. Whisky is one of the assets that Scotland has, and I don't think it'll ever diminish. You know, it's always going to be there and be wanted, I think. The purchasing process was excellent with Spiritfilled because I didn't know anything about whisky or the casks or different regions or anything. The boys basically guided you right through the whole process and gave you help, and they're in the business all the time, so they know what the market's doing, they know what's wanted, and they can advise you in, you know, what to buy and which way to go. And I've enjoyed the whisky and the process of learning about whisky, learning about the making of whisky, and the advice and help I've had from Spiritfilled in the whole process, from buying, and even I've only sold 1 cask so far, but the advice you get from buying and selling, and any step of the way you need advice, you just pick up the phone and there's always one of them there that can answer the questions or help you out and keep you right. My husband and I are having a competition at the moment to see who's making the most money, whether I'm making more money out of whisky or whether he's making more money out of the horses or race horses. But I'm definitely in the leading streak just now. Whisky is definitely a much better investment. I would say you're definitely in a winner with whisky.